Let's do some tile backsplashes, shall we? We'll go to the internet and we'll search textures seamless. Oops, I typed that wrong, but that's okay, it still came up. So the one that I use the most, seems to have the most consistent quality and seamless textures, is the SketchUp Texture Club. Now you do have to sign up for an account, but it is free, and I find that the free account is all you need because the resolution are lower resolution pictures, but they are high enough resolution to work well in 2020. So I'm going to log in. It only takes a couple minutes to set up an account. So they have daily freebies, which I haven't found anything good in those, although I don't go there that often. I want to go to textures, architecture, tiles interior, and I find that the marble tiles has the most useful ones. So I go to white, and I'm going to scroll down here, and one that I tend to like is a lighter white tile, this Carrara Calubria. They call it a floor tile, but it can be used for anything. And I can download that. And we'll go to my downloads. I will save it. Now it goes in as a zip file, which is a folder that has compressed information in it. So when I open it, I want to go up here to extract. If you're in Windows 10, that should be something that's right there as an option. So extract all, and just follow the prompts. Extract. Okay, so there it is, and I know it's in downloads, and I know it's in a folder called 0033, blah, blah, blah. So once you've made note of that, I close those. I'll minimize this. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my backsplash. So I have a design open already, and I'm going to use the surface tool. I know some people have a hard time with the surface tool, but I find after you practice a little bit, it actually works pretty well. So I'll select surface, and I'll start right here in this corner between the refrigerator panel and the countertop. Click there, and then see it snaps. It's snapping to the bottom side of this cabinet. That's perfect. That's where I want it to be. So I click, and then it snaps there, which is great. Now up here, it snaps because I want to go to the bottom of this hood. So it snaps right there. So I click there, and then the same thing happens here. So sometimes it doesn't snap as easily as it's doing for me now. And you can do a couple of things to help that. So I'm just going to finish this around here. It keeps snapping. You want to complete the loop, and then you want to, so I've been left clicking, which is your normal click. Once I've closed the loop, I want to right click, and there's our surface, and it automatically opens up to the attributes. So I want to go to texture, and I want to go to user texture library, and I'm going to do a new texture. So in my downloads is that Carrara Calubria, and there it is. So I click open. Now it wants to automatically go to 12 inches by 12 inches. I think that will be too small unless you want there to be a smaller tile. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6 rows. That means the tiles will only be 2 inches high. So if you want something that's more like a 3-inch or a 4-inch, you would need to make it the appropriate size. So I'm going to make them 4-inch tiles. I believe that will make them 4 by 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. That's actually 4. Yeah, so I think that'll be a good size. So I want to double the size of this. So I'm going to do 24 by 24, and then the appearance will be down here, and you click these 3 dots on this button. And then you have the option of giving the material a different appearance. I tend to not stray far from the paint although you can mess around with this. You can go back into your texture library and you can change these fairly regularly, but I want to make this slightly glossy, so I'm going to say semi-gloss. We'll leave it the paint, latex, that's all fine. It'll give it a slightly glossy appearance in a high-res rendering. Click select, and then I will click, so there it is right there. There are the other ones I've been messing around with. And then I will click OK. So then it comes up here. I'm using my scroll wheel to scroll in. It comes up here and it has grout lines. They're fairly subtle. And when I click OK, that will be in there. So I want to do a perspective. So there is my tile backsplash. I have a few different lighting elements going on here, so there's some shadows, but it is texture. It is seamless. You shouldn't see where one 24 by 24 block begins and the other one ends. It should be pretty smooth. And I'll just show you from a couple of different angles. So now I can do that with a few different textures. If you saw the preview video I made with pictures in it, I used a few different tiles just to illustrate. So I'll go to attributes, variables. Now I already have these in my user texture library because I already created them. These all came from that SketchUp Texture Club website, and I encourage you to download them. I'm actually going to make all of these best ones available as a zip file in a zip folder shortly after this video comes out, which is the week before Christmas 2018, and I will make that available to anybody who wants it. But I have some arabesque I thought I had a couple different colors, but currently just have this teal color, so let's just see what that looks like. So that's something that's fairly difficult to come up with out in the wild, is an arabesque. Actually, I think that's too small. Let's see what it looks like. There's an arabesque tile, which I know a lot of people like to use. It's fairly popular. But that comes up very well. See, there's a slight gloss to it, and it's the shading is hitting it in certain ways. But once that cleans up, it's clearly the arabesque, and you can change the scale of that. If you want them to be slightly larger, then you can change the scale in your user texture library. The variables. Here. So once you are in here, say I have one that's at 12 inches by 12 inches. I have one that's 18 by 18. Let's look at that one instead. I think that looks slightly better. Those tiles are slightly larger. You have it, and if you want, you can launch a high quality rendering from here, and it will clean up all of these little glitchy parts. So that's the basics of how to do a tile backsplash and some good resources for the material. So as always, if you have any questions, send me a message through the Facebook group or send me an email, and I'll be glad to answer any questions. I hope you enjoyed this, and have a great day.